All right, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Let's take a look at our trade plan from yesterday. Do we need to update these levels here? Let's see. All right, so yesterday we said holding above 782, which was the value high of yesterday. We're pretty far away from that, so we're definitely going to have to bring that down. So I think we're going to bring that down to 40. And then we'll look for 82 as the retrace target. And then possibly 13. Holding below 40, which is the value low of yesterday. We're going to look for that 707, which has kind of already been hit. So we can actually raise that, or sorry, lower that down to 690. And then 58 would be the next value level, which also lines up with a potential tail extension. If we look at the tail of yesterday, we take that upper tail. If we measure out a lower tail, it's going to line up with this zone we are already watching. Okay. So bearish bias is still continuing. We have that bearish trail from yesterday. We retested it on the pre-market. A little bit of a sell signal there around 4 a.m. Tried to put in a pivot around 6:30 in the morning. We lost that pivot. So we're still seeing that bearish bias as long as we stay below that 40 value level. Okay. You can see you're trending downward on the 8 and 24 EMA on 30-minute as well. This is all from that value flip that we talked about the last couple of days. We had all that overlapping value being protected on the buy side. And then we had the retest a couple of times, putting in lower high and then nuking downward. So definitely flipping our macro value to being a bit more bearish. Okay, for NASDAQ, we said holding above and below was the 224 level. That was the value low. And that is obviously being held below. It's pretty bearish so far. So holding below, we're looking for 108, which has been hit already. Let's go ahead and update that level. So we'll say 993, and the next level is 806. To the upside, we're just looking for a very standard value retrace. So holding above the value low, you can look for the POC and the value high. little bit of a sell-off on the open here. We are obviously in a bearish imbalance, so that's nothing crazy. Taking out the past 4 30-minute lows on the open here. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, AT, Itachi, Sam, Future, Backpack, and Scott, Marcel, Jeremy, Ordinary, JC. Yeah, Ordinary, I appreciate that. I did have the wrong thumbnail for today. I did fix that, though. Good morning, Banana, Brad, Fernando, Igor, Morris. Good morning, Michael, Fernando, Larry, Crypto, Lucio, Lubomir, Orion, eBay. Good morning, Power, C-Mac, Roman, Ganesh, Ronaldo, Greg, 2013, Leo. Appreciate you guys being here. Yeah, sorry, Banana. Right after I ended the day yesterday at 4 p.m., I had a lot of stuff I had to do. I've been very scatterbrained recently. I've been do one thing, then do another thing, do another thing. I haven't had the time to sit down and like fully update the website yet. 100% I should have it done by either the end of today or the start of tomorrow. I've had a lot of stuff I've had to do after the market closes recently. By the way, I appreciate all the support on the new video. It started out a little slow, but now it's by far doing better than like all the videos I've released recently. So I appreciate you guys watching and commenting and liking the video and all that stuff. I'm glad you guys enjoy it. Like I said, I think that's one of the best videos, if not the best video I've ever put out for volume profile. So I'm glad you guys enjoy it. Lot of sellers at 707 here. Let me see. Do we have news at 10? Yeah, we have a little bit of data at 10 o'clock. Nothing crazy. Okay, so following this bearish imbalance so far, keep an eye on this incomplete auction zone. This is all the way back from Friday, October the 17th, which was a Friday. So nearly a month ago. Not so much. Keep an eye on 90 down to 57. Here's a level on NASDAQ going all the way back down to Wednesday, the 22nd of October. And then we have an incomplete auction going back to that same day, the 17th. Just kind of stair-stepping our way down, hitting old value back in October. It's all basically the same information power. I've just had 4 more years of experience using it, and I have little differences on how I use it and whatnot. But for the most part, it's all basically the same information. But I would usually recommend watching my newer content before my older content because it's more relative, it's more recent. Good morning, Victor. Good morning, LDM, Angelo, Tamer, Trevor. Good morning, Ryder. Pretty nasty opens so far. We have every single TPO trading below the open. We are getting a little bit extended off of that ADMA, so very aggressive down here. And this is exactly what I've been talking about all week. This is that value flip. It's a very bad level to lose for the buyers. They lost that overlapping value that we were sitting in for quite a while. It turned into a rollover top, right? Rollover top, retested the value, put in lower highs, and then nuked. It is starting to look pretty weak on the daily. If we hold below this daily trail, which we have not lost since April. That is not a great look. We tried to lose it a few times back in October, a couple times in August, but eventually it turned into a trap and it bounced back above it. That trail is currently basically the high of day, around 775. If the daily trail is completely lost, we look for the weekly trail, which is around 470. That's pretty far away. Hey, Shannon, I appreciate you joining the membership on YouTube. Thank you for supporting the channel. I'm glad you enjoy the content. Turning a little bit into a capital B, double distribution here. If they hang out on this node, it could be more of a capital B. If they lose this node right away, then it's just a trend profile. Can you swing trade with a prop firm? Not usually. Most prop firms are, they don't allow you to hold overnight. You could kind of swing trade, like where you close the position, then reopen it. But no, most prop firms don't let you. The margin requirements for swing trading compared to day trading on futures are astronomically different. So it's a completely different world. Good morning, Tom. They are holding on to this node as a buyer support, so they are looking like a capital B here. Holding on to the 24 EMA on the first major retest here. So responsive sellers are still doing their job. You're only about 15 minutes in. It's already a massive A session here. Dropping like 40 points. Oh, sorry guys, forgot to pin the trade plan. There you go. No, Q&As are always on Monday, same schedule as the entire series. I think I still need to make some final edits on that last Q&A. I can't remember if I uploaded the full version yet. I'll double check today. So you notice how it was a capital B. We had a strong note on the high, strong note on the bottom, and then we had an LVN in between. And now they're filling in that LVN. Good morning, Michael, Joan. One minute pivot pushing you back into the trail. Here's your trail target. Let's see how the trail responds. Couple of sell signals on the trail here, so it is holding bearishly for now. What does it do, Ordinary? Does it like pop up on the screen or something when I do that? I've never seen what it actually looks like on the viewer end. I think my my YouTube is on like dark mode, so I don't really see any light on it. Is that on like mobile or something, or is that on your desktop? This is the UOM consumer confidence. It's not the good consumer confidence. The consumer confidence, what's the one that people like? It's called CB or something like that. It's not this one. This one doesn't really have that much impact. But this one is one of the only data points coming out right now because the shutdown is happening. So it does have a little bit more weight this time around. Consumer Reports, is that what it is? Yeah. Whatever the other one is. The other one has more impact. Yeah, I'm not sure ordinary. It's very, very small on my end, so doesn't seem like an issue. There's nothing I can't change like the colors or anything, so nothing I can really do about it. Bouncing off that pivot at 92, you're like ping-ponging in between that pivot and the trail. 92 pivot, 703 trail. Which is about a 10-point range, but it's already bouncing back and forth like 3 or 4 times. Yeah, unfortunately, that's the only way YouTube lets me like leave a reminder because it only lets you pin one message, which is really dumb. If you let me pin multiple messages, it would be easier. Okay, capital B has finished filling in the LVN. Keep an eye on the prior POC, which was around 710. If they reclaim that, they could be looking for VWAP. Right now, this is just an LVN fill-in, still bearish. Turning back into a lowercase b here. Value node is building up towards the low a day. Still showing a bearish imbalance. They would have to reclaim that initial POC at 710, start holding a lot of value above that. That would threaten to break to the upside, possibly into like VWAP. Holding on to the daily VWAP. Here's the retest of that prior low. It's kind of the stair-stepping level. We're stepping our way down, right? So prior low being retested. So far, they're not liking it too much. That is also that 710 POC, which is now the POC again. It was the prior POC. This POC node is all one big POC, basically. The node is almost entirely the same. Here's that 10 o'clock data coming out. The market doesn't typically react too strong to this data, but like I said, the government is shut down, and it's one of the only data points we are getting right now. So they might have a stronger reaction this time around. 50.3 over 53.0, 4.7 on the inflation. The confidence was slightly lower than expected. The inflation was higher than last time. There is no expectation on the inflation number. Liquidity is still very low, trading about 20 contracts per tick. A lot of ticks are even lower than that. You can see how blue the tape is. A lot of level 2 orders coming in. Very heavy lower node here. Very bottom heavy, right? And they are protecting it. Not a single TPO above the open. By the way, we did fill in that single print yesterday. And also that pattern that we were looking at the last couple of months is coming back again. The pattern of the initial balance only breaking to one side. Yesterday it broke to the low, did not test the high. Wednesday broke the high, didn't test the low. Broke the high, didn't test the low. Broke the low on this day here, I think on Monday. Broke the low. Broke the low. Broke the low, yeah. So we're only breaking one side, going all the way back to October 28th, which broke both directions, but that was a very small initial balance. No, you will never see limits on a tape. A tape is always, well, it depends on how you look at it, but a tape is always market orders. But it's that argument that people make about the zero sum and there has to be a limit for a market, etc., etc. So technically, yes, there are limit orders there, but the tape is showing you market orders. If you reverse the color on the tape, then yes, you would say that that is a limit tape. All the greens are reds and all the reds are greens. Yeah, it's always traded. There's no, nothing will show on the tape that's not traded. The tape is called time and sales, right? It's a sale that went through at this time. It's not going to show you things that have not sold. Pretty much no change in the day. Still seeing that bearish bias from the open. They did protect that Middle node, they built it up, but they still protected it. And now they are back to being in control on the aggressive side as well. Very bottom heavy delta coming in. That was a beautiful stair step. Like I said, you retested that prior low, bounced back into it. There was the retest right there, and then sold. When you have that like stair stepping pattern downward, you look for the prior lows, look for the retest of it. Typically, they're pivots as well, which this one was. They're retesting a stair stepping pivot. The stair stepping pattern is basically just profit taking. You think about like sellers taking profit, they have to buy a little bit, makes it bounce, but it's not actually going up. It's not bullish. And then it goes right back down. A little bit of a sweep on the low. That's also a bull div. We'll see how it reacts to this old POC here at 710. Still a 5-minute pivot being respected. All right, here comes that 710 level. This is that initial POC before we drop down. There was a little bit of absorption on that sweep, possibly being squeezed out. Turning more into a D-shaped profile now, just kind of rotating back and forth. Keep an eye on these 30-minute highs. We have not lost a 30-minute high pretty much since the top in the pre-market, which was around like 3 a.m. Like every single one of these 30-minute highs has been protected. So keep an eye on that 25 level. That should be protected by the sellers. Very D-shaped now, so pretty balanced. Did a fantastic job filling in that LVN. Still not liking that stair-stepping level, those 30-minute lows that are all built up around like 10 to 15. If you can break above that, it's looking for a retest of VWAP, possibly turning into a bear flag in the VWAP. Now, if you look at where the daily VWAP is, this is what I would consider like the danger zone, right? Kind of the chop zone, where you have the daily VWAP below you and the session VWAP above you, and they're both acting like magnets, kind of pulling you in two different directions, which is why we're getting such a choppy price action on the open here. Both VWAPs are not helping you in one direction. What time is that happening, Rocket? I didn't see that on the schedule. Are you talking about him speaking with the Senate leaders about the shutdown? Gotcha. Just in Discord, Patriot, I post my template every like few weeks if I make any major changes to it. In Discord, I have a templates channel that I post my up-to-date one. I just posted my most recent one, I think like either this week or last week. But no, I don't post it anywhere else because I change my settings on damn near a daily basis. And I don't want to have to like keep updating it for the live stream every day. And for the most part, it's just personal preference stuff. It's just like color settings and how I think it, how I want it to look, right? It's not like actually changing the formulas. It's all just color preference for the most part. That retest is still holding strong, holding on to that 710 to 715 prior POC. You want it, James? Yeah, I only use the DOM realistically for liquidity, like seeing how the level 1 liquidity is looking, and just honestly watching how it reacts to like certain levels, like how quickly it's moving back and forth, how sticky it is. I'm not really watching it for the actual DOM purpose, like the depth of market. Looking at like level 2 orders and whatnot, I don't really look at that. It's more so a speed thing, looking at the speed of it and the size, looking at how many contracts are trading per tick. Most people use the DOM for what it's designed for, like using the level 2 and seeing where the resting orders are, but I just don't really care about that stuff anymore. I did that for a long time, and I just found that it was more so distracting than it was helpful. It wasn't providing me like any value. I wouldn't say it's too slow today. It's moving around pretty quick. The liquidity is pretty damn low, so it's able to move back and forth very quickly. Yeah, the tape and the DOM, like I said, this next video is going to be extremely hard for me to make. And I'll see how it goes this weekend. We might even have to push it back. But I'll try my best this week and we'll see how it goes. Um, but a lot of order flow stuff, it's not like I can teach you guys patterns. It's not like a pattern thing. It's more so like a feeling. It gives you like an intuition, and um, you get used to how it's moving back and forth on the tape, how it's moving on the DOM, and when it's not moving the way that it quote unquote should be moving, right? You kind of get a sense of the norm, like what is normal. And then you're like, okay, that's not normal. That's moving a little bit weird. And it's really hard to explain why it's weird. Like, why is it not moving the way it should? But yeah, I'm not going to focus too heavily on the tape and the DOM in this next video because, like I said, that stuff is really hard to teach. I'm going to focus more on the kind of like my middle chart, how to read delta and absorption and stuff like that on a candle by candle basis, and breaking like the candles down into volume profiles and stuff like that. The DOM and the tape, you learn on your own by just putting them on your screen and having more screen time. They are extremely difficult to teach. Yeah, it goes with like anything in trading. Screen time is just what makes it, what's going to make you better, right? But it's definitely more so on the tape and the DOM. It's just not a pattern. It's not like a, oh, this is happening, so XYZ, right? There are like little patterns you can look for, like when walls are being hit, when liquidity is being pulled, stuff like that. You can tell when headlines are coming out. The tape will be the first thing to respond to headlines before they even like fully come out to the public. You guys have heard me say it so many times. I'll be like, oh, was that a headline? And then we'll wait like 5 minutes and then we'll see the headline. Because you can tell on the tape. Like the tape will just have a very normal flow and then it will go crazy. The liquidity will drop. It will basically be like 0. And then the orders will just start flooding in. Very D-shaped now. We have nearly a perfect bell curve balance. So we are rotating back and forth from the value high to the value low. Value low is around 95. Liquidity is very low today. You're seeing a lot of blue orders on the tape. They're constantly hitting the level 2, and they're hitting it with very low volume, too. It's like 25, 40 contracts. Possibly going for the next leg down here. We'll see if it can break this D-shaped balance. You need to hold below this 95 value low. Still protecting the 30-minute highs, by the way. Starting to get a bit more aggressive here, holding below the 80 MA on every candle. Watch that 30-minute low coming up, which is also the low of the morning. You are breaking that low, but so far you are trying to sweep it. Buyers are trying to protect it. Yeah, there is some absorption down here. A lot of sellers on the low, not really going anywhere. There was a wall at 80, got taken out already. Very bottom heavy candle, building up a node right on the low. Still protecting all the 30-minute highs, breaking the 30-minute lows. The breaks are very small, but they are still breaking. Created a couple single prints going into 81 here. Looks like another small wall. Look at this stair step down here. Look at the block trade. There's like a small wall block trade. Small wall block trade. Same thing here. Block trade again. Small wall block trade. There's a stair stepping seller just pushing every level down here. Hey, 2013. Have a good weekend, man. We'll see you on Monday. Holding below the 24 EMA here. No change in our trade plan. Still bearish. Bearish imbalance playing out here. Extending that lower tail of yesterday. Also extending the lower tail of today. All right, taking a look at our macro levels here. The next target is coming up here at 58. That will finish our bearish trade plan. Below that, we have there's an old gap that did get filled in, but I have that level marked out still, which is around like 6,600. There's a very weak lower tail back down to like 570. So basically, after losing 58, there's not a lot of value for a few points. Here's that incomplete auction on NASDAQ going down to 675. NASDAQ, we're looking for 675 and 443. There's like a it's kind of both sides, so it's hard to say. But there's a consistent limit buyer on the way down because we're seeing consistent market sells with those block trades and those walls. But obviously, they have to be selling into a limit buyer, so you can say it's on both sides. Possibly some higher time frame buyers trying to protect this. You saw it here at 91, 86, 80, 75. It's like every 5 points. Very consistent. No, liquidity's still pretty bad. It's improved from this morning, but it's still bad. Before the government shutdown, it was trading around like 60 to 80 contracts per tick at a decent liquidity. If it's around 40, it's okay usually. When it starts getting below 40, 30, 20, that's a problem. That's when you start moving around really quickly. Just a very consistent 30-minute trend down. Building value, breaking the lows, protecting the highs, not creating single prints. You did have a couple there on the C session. They got filled in immediately. Just very stable. Hanging out on the 8 and 24 EMAs, not getting too extended. I couldn't tell you on NASDAQ. I don't watch the tape on NASDAQ. You'd have to figure that out on your own. You'd have to watch it for like a week or two, get a feel for like what's normal. It's all just like relative to the long-term average, right? Watching it every single day and seeing what the average is. There might be an indicator for it on Addis, but I just do it manually. I was hopefully having it done yesterday and the day before, but I just keep getting pulled in different directions and doing many things. I should have it on the site. If not by the end of today, 100% it will be on there tomorrow. I've got time on the weekend. Still holding below the 24. Not getting a lot of bearish delta this time around. A little weak on this push down. Putting in a higher low here on the 1 minute. Like I said, not as much bearish delta this time around, so the sellers are getting a little bit weak. Keep an eye on those 30-minute highs. This, if the buyers are strong, you'd think they'd be able to break that 30-minute high pretty easily. It's the smallest candle of the day. They only need to go up by 10 points or so to break that high. So if they do not break that, then it's pretty obvious the downtrend is still pretty stable. Keep an eye on that incomplete auction we have marked out, that gray zone, going down to 675 on NASDAQ, and you're pretty much filled in on ES. Goes down to 58, and the next level would be around like 6605. Below 58, there's not a ton of value, so it can fall pretty easily. So be careful there. But all right, guys, on that note, we are going to call it there for the morning stream. I will be streaming the rest of the day in Discord. If you guys are not in Discord, I will see you guys on Monday. If you guys have not already, check out my latest release on my YouTube channel. It is the volume profile video, part 4 of our Becoming an Apex Trader series. The 5th video will most likely be coming out next week. Depends on how easy it is for me to make it this weekend. I'll see if I can put it all together. But that one's going to be a little bit hard to make because a lot of that stuff is really just intuition. It's not a lot of patterns that I need to teach, right? So we'll see how it goes. Most likely coming out Wednesday, but I'll let you know. 100%, I know it's been delayed, but 100% I will have the Black Friday sale on the website at the latest tomorrow. So I'll have an announcement for that in Discord, and then I'll tell you guys on Monday as well. It's most likely going to be the 40% off the quarterly and the tutoring, and then 50 or 60% off the annual. And if you guys bought the annual plan during the last Black Friday, be sure to put in the new code for your renewal so it doesn't charge you full price. But all right, guys, if you guys want to support the channel, you can hit that like button. You can subscribe on YouTube. If you want to get any Apex accounts, you can use code BREW. It will give you 70% off. I believe they're still doing that sale. And they have $40 for the activation fee, which I believe is like the cheapest activation fee for the paid accounts I've seen. Make sure if you guys do buy any Apex accounts, keep those receipts, send them my way. Just follow the giveaway details on that last video I posted. And you guys can get entered to win a laptop, Discord access, and some free Apex accounts. But all right, guys, appreciate being here. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you guys on Monday. Peace, everybody.